So Kenton, what do the mountains mean for you?
I think today the mountains represent somewhere that I can go and find freedom. Our lives are so cluttered, they're so busy, that we don't have pause for time. Mountains give me that. They give me the time and the space to think and to ponder what it is that we're doing. Many people think of North Wales as a bit of a hub for climbing. The history here stretches back to the first ascent of Everest, some 65 years or so.
And they came here to train?
Yeah, essentially. I mean, North Wales has always been a mecca. And it's interesting to see how that's evolved over time.
Everest, years ago, was a bit of a dumping ground, wasn't it?
I've seen the amounts that we generate, and it's depressing how much rubbish is cleared out.
A lot of expeditions now, I'm sure you take all your rubbish with you, of course.
Morally, we should leave no trace. Who has the right to expect somebody else to come along and clear that up?
Have you seen in the wider climbing community more awareness from climbers and people, who enjoy the outdoors generally with regards to the footprints that they're leaving?
It's very easy to pinpoint something like Everest and say, well, look at it, it's a rubbish tip, or it's this or it's that, but it's the bigger picture. Everest represents something, but it's beyond that. It's here on our own doorstep in North Wales. We've been for a little walk today, and there was rubbish out there. There was plastic rubbish there. There was other types of rubbish around. Not a lot of it. You see way more in the high street or in the hedgerows. I live in the Cotswolds, and I found myself going and running yesterday and thinking, I'm going to bring the children out one Saturday morning with some bin bags.
Do a litter pick.
Just do a litter pick, just along the hedgerows.
Yeah.
But if people, climbers, walkers, if they do focus on something, be it Everest or Snowdon, and use it as an influencer or something to be part of the collective who are trying to initiate change, that is the engagement that we're talking about. We're going into the great outdoors, and we understand the reasons why it needs to be preserved. And it's our jobs as stewards on this planet to look after that. And if it's gone, there's no reason for climbers, hill walkers, kayakers, or whatever really to get out there. Climbers have always been quite forward-thinking individuals, a bunch of essentially anarchists coming together under a set of unwritten rules, so to speak. Climbers aren't, as a collective, going to save the planet, but it's got to start somewhere.
People think that we can recycle our way out of the plastics crisis. The awakening moment for me is when I went to a recycling facility. It was one of the worst days of my life because I'd realised all that good I thought I was doing in many times is in vain, because the reality of recycling globally is that only 9% of plastics get recycled. Western countries like us that don't really have a fit-for-purpose recycling infrastructure, we offshore our problems and we send it to developing countries around the world for them to deal with. And ethically, that is so wrong on so many different levels.
If the tap is on and it's flowing, there's only so much you could do to dam the flow. You need to dam it at source, i.e. stop using plastics.
Only now we're kind of appreciating this monster that we've invented. I spoke at a school actually yesterday, and at the end of the talk they were saying, well, we want to set up a plastic-free community. How do we do that? What do we do? And it was great to see young people so engaged and aware of the idea, a lot more than many adults.
Right, and I think what it is, I think young people are more receptive to change. Change is a word that can scare people, whereas the next generation, again, a bit like you, I go into schools and talk about this, the next generation are so important. They hold our very existence in their hands. Our ability to affect change is almost tiny. It's almost zero, and we've had our time, and it's our job to educate the next generation who will be the stewards of our planet. And if we can catch them now and educate on the dangers of plastics or the inefficiencies of recycling and synthetic clothing and that's how we will affect change. And unfortunately, we probably won't see it. But by engaging and educating and bringing people into the outdoors and showing them what we still have left, then there's a greater appreciation for affecting change.
There's a great mobilisation that comes from these cleanups, because it's a very proactive thing that people can get involved in.
It's like you go there, you meet new people, and you see another way of thinking, and you're connecting with.
It's a community-based.
Yeah, you're down on the beach, and you bump into some dude that you wouldn't normally interact with, and you hear a different story, and you're all doing something worthwhile, and you're in the outdoors. It's cool. I mean, I really dig it. That's the way you start the revolution.